Okay, so the other day I was looking through an old hard drive and I actually found the video file for the first film I ever made way back in 2011. So I thought that today I could react to that film, analyze it maybe for cinematography, editing, and story, and of course, cringe a lot at everything for your entertainment. Just a little background on the film. Like I said, it was shot 10 years ago back in 2011, and I probably just shot it in an afternoon with a couple of my friends using my Canon PowerShot A3100 IS, which was a workhorse of a camera for me back then, but it only shoots 480p, so you're gonna have to suffer with that quality a little bit. And then I edited the film in a really old version of iMovie, so yeah, that's basically it. Let's jump into it. Okay, so first things first, this film is titled Murder Mystery. You can see that I have that really classy iMovie title effect here. And the song is already actually a copyrighted song. It's by Rihanna, S&M, which I definitely didn't know the context of back in 2011, so we can just ignore that. It was always on the radio, so that's why it's in here. So let's just jump into it.
My money. I rightfully owned it. It wasn't yours. Yes, it was.
Okay, so actually I'm a little bit impressed. The beginning of the film isn't actually that terrible. I actually used a pretty normal short film technique, which is just jumping into action. So as you can see here, a guy gets shot and killed immediately. There's really no introduction there, which works pretty well in my opinion. Again, the quality is pretty rough because it's shot in 480p, and as you can see, I decided to get a little bit stylistic, have an homage to the original cinema maybe, and shoot in black and white. So there's that. Also, let's just back up for a minute and hear that gun sound effect again. Basically, if I remember correctly, I didn't know how to download sound effects and add them into my editing library, so the only sound effects I thought I could use were the ones already inside of iMovie, so I think that's a basketball hitting a basketball hoop. Anyway, that's the closest I could get to a gun sound, I guess, so I used that for all the gun sound effects in this entire film.
That's innocent. Just murdered him. I know. I'll call the cops and report attack.
Okay, so something that clearly took me a long time to learn was the importance of audio, and honestly a lot of my films had bad audio for quite a while. And as you can hear in this scene, the audio is absolutely horrible. Yeah, you really can't hear what's going on or what the character is saying, so that's fine. The story is not important.
Somebody else. Okay.
Oh, and there you have a classic transition, one of the most stylistic you can have, the classic page curl, so that's pretty solid.
911. Hello, what's the matter? Can I help you?
Okay, so I didn't know how to do voiceover in editing obviously either. So when the main character here calls the cops, I'm actually the cop on the other end, but I didn't know how to do voiceover, so I'm just recording with my camera and talking on the other side of the camera like I'm on the other side of the phone. That's why I sound much louder than the other character. Yeah.
We'll be there right there, okay? Alright, bye.
Boom. Another great transition. The classic circle in. I mean, what can I say? Just trying out all the different effects that exist in the editing program, and yeah, I guess it was just fun to mess around with.
Do you know how he was murdered?
So I can't play the audio to this clip either because it is another copyrighted song. I think it's Imperial March from Star Wars. Yeah, I don't know why I have that here. I guess I just like that song, but we're basically talking about the murdered guy, which is weird. I'm the cop and there's a civilian with me. We never introduced me as a character, so you don't know who's who. I'm the person here with the long hair if you didn't know, but yeah. Okay, this is really funny here. So I apparently didn't know how to cut that well because a lot of these shots are really, really long. In this shot right here, I don't cut away at all. I just show us arriving, show us leaving to go get like a stretcher or something, and I don't cut it, so it's just like a blank frame for several seconds. Like they're still, okay, we're finally coming back. See, I like could have cut that whole section out, but apparently I didn't need to.
Okay, let's take him to the left.
Okay, another cool transition to the cube. You know, I'm just trying to hit every possible transition there is. Okay, so honestly, I have no idea what's going on in this scene. We go to a bar after we take a dead body away to chat and hang out, I guess. But the ambience of the background that I put in is so loud, you can't hear anything that we're saying. It's probably not that important what we're talking about, but it's just kind of weird to have a several minute scene. Like, just watch, it just keeps playing and playing. We're just like eating, drinking at a bar. You know, we're like 11-year-olds at a bar. That's cool. But I just don't understand. Why did I leave that in?
do you want to go to the lab tomorrow and check out that guy who's murdered?
Sure.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Okay, so this shot is really funny. Basically, we just have the camera positioned for a really long time, like several minutes in one spot where you really can't see anything that's happening. I have no idea why we had it like that. Like, we could have moved the angle, we could have shot it differently, but no, we had to leave it here. And the funny thing is that my friend here had a really long hair, and so he's shirtless in this shot, but a lot of people thought he was a girl, just shirtless on the table, and we really didn't think that far, but it wasn't a really big deal. But I'm just gonna fast forward through all that because basically nothing important happens. I guess we find the fingerprints on the gun that was left at the scene, and that helps us track down the culprit, I guess. So let's continue.
I found the murder records. Here's the fingerprint, so let's try to match it. Okay.
I'm looking at
This has got to be one of the worst shots I have ever seen in my life.
Okay.
It's pixelated, it's grainy, it's out of focus, and our backs are to the camera. We're literally facing the opposite direction of the camera, so the microphone, which isn't even good, didn't even have a chance to pick up anything that we're talking about.
Here's one I think matches. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. 34 Walnut Street. Let's go there.
I think somehow we find an address that's tied to the fingerprint, so somehow we had a database with that we were able to look it up, but there's no close-ups. It's only just a wide shot of our back, so there's no way to tell what we're doing because we don't even know what we're doing.
Okay.
Another incredible transition, courtesy of me. This is too good. This is too good. Okay, so we're showing up to the address that we just recently located. Not only do both of us have guns, remember one of the people is a civilian, not even a cop, but both of our guns, as you can see here, are engineered very finely. They're both wood cutouts, so super high tech there. Honestly, that's just creative design on our part. We're trying to be stylistic, so I think it works, but I just think it's too funny that just some random guy goes into the police department, calls in a murder, and suddenly he's like in the case with the gun. It's great. And you can constantly hear the camera like zooming in and out because, yeah, we didn't have any microphones.
My house. Sorry, what did you say? Okay.
And again, we're zoomed in like 30 feet away, so of course you're not going to hear any audio. There's no microphone remotely close. All you can hear is the person handling the camera. Okay, so now we have a title card. Basically, you're not going to understand the story at all, so I'm just going to explain it. But we go to this person's house, they're not there, and we decide to come back later to hopefully see if they'll come back.
Might be mysterious while we're doing this mission. Can I see your fingerprint? What?
Okay, so now we're staked out in the bushes. Again, the camera zoomed in super far because the quality looks horrible, but I ask if I can see the other guy's credentials because he's been acting suspicious, even though he's been going along with me the whole time. There's nothing suspicious about that at all, but I want to see his credentials and I want to see his fingerprint, which is like a super random thing to ask for in the field.
You may be the one who's caused all this trouble.
And we have that really solid shaky cam going on, for sure. Again, one shot, no switching angles, just one steady shot in one position. Okay, so basically, he starts to run because he finds out that I know that he's the bad guy, I think. He starts to run off, and I shoot off at him. Clearly gonna kill him, but he survives. So, yeah, let's watch that. Boom, he was dead. There's that basketball sound effect again. Again, here's the final showdown. We don't need separate cuts. We don't need separate clips. We just need a continuous shot panning back and forth between the two people shooting guns because that makes it more clear, as you can see. So, yeah. Okay, so I finally hit the bad guy. He falls down into this like ditch. And then I come up to him, and I kid you not, I show up above him with a gun as a cop and say, "You deserve this," and shoot him. I mean, it just doesn't get better than that. And no epilogue, no conclusion, boom, we're done. A Boston sound plays in the soundtrack, and we have the classic Star Wars rolling credits. If that's not a great film, then I don't know what is. Okay, so that was a look at the first film I ever made. It could have been worse, but it was pretty bad. But even though the film is pretty bad, I had such a fun time making this film that I started making more and more films, and it got me to where I am today, so I guess you gotta start somewhere. And I know I keep saying that was my first film ever, but while editing, I actually remembered I'd shot another film before that, and the only record I have of it is on this DVD here. There's no digital copy of it, so this is a little bit worse than that one. So if you enjoyed this video, found it entertaining or anything like that, leave a comment down below and maybe I'll react to this one as well. But thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you all next time.